All right, we good?
We're good.
All right. Everybody, I would like to thank you all for coming tonight. Traditionally, one candidate calls the other candidate and offers their congratulations. We've reached out to Congressman Flores' office several times over the last couple of days. Unfortunately, like many constituent contacts at his office, those messages went unanswered. So I will have to deliver my congratulations to you, Congressman Flores. Thank you very much for running a clean, issues-focused race. You focused on your accomplishments over your last 4 terms, and I congratulate you on your victory. The voters of the district have spoken. I wish that you would listen to the constituents of your district, that you would provide public forums to interact. That's one of the things that I hear most from from the people who supported me, and I hope you carry that forward. Regardless of how you choose to execute the office in the upcoming session, I do wish you the very best of luck, and congratulations again on your win. To everybody else in this room, the folks who worked for me, the folks who voted for me out there, we lost an election, all right? That's okay. We started this a little over 14 months ago with absolutely nothing. And we've been putting the wings on the airplane while we were in flight ever since. Debbie, Carolyn, you guys know we sat at that table on Sunday afternoon sometimes going, how much money's in the bank? What are we gonna do with that money? How are we gonna make the most of those few pennies over the next couple of weeks? We've been on the edge the whole time. But we're probably going to wind up 11 or 12 points down. That's cuts the lead about in half from everything that we've seen in prior elections. So we made a good dent, and we've moved the needle in a positive direction. The last time I checked, in 10 out of the 12 counties in the district. So. And to all the volunteers who work for me who aren't here, give yourself a round of applause too, because that is a testimony to the team. When we started this a year ago, I didn't know any of the people in this room. Okay, well, my relatives, but but the volunteers in this room, the volunteers who passed through, I didn't know anybody. We built this team from scratch in the last 14 months, and the volunteers in this room have put every bit as much heart, soul, and sweat into this thing as I have over the last 14 months. So I cannot thank you enough. It's a debt that cannot be repaid. And I'm gonna read a lot of names here. I'm gonna miss people, so please forgive me ahead of time. But so many people have come in and through this campaign that I've got to give a shout out to some of the key people. In Burleson County, Linda Arbuckle. Out in Brazos County, Janet Dudding, Tara Harden, T.C. Langford, Judy and Arnold Leunis, the Young Dems of BCS, the Aggie Dems, Doug Kleypas in Milam County, who walked me around Milam County for an entire day, one day a couple of months ago. McLennan County, Mary Duty, Mary Mann, Tammy Hartsfield, Bonnie Leslie, Pat Kulchin, Bill and Vicky Mata, Ambassador Lyndon Olson, who became a very good informal advisor throughout this campaign, Cheryl Foster, Deanna Goodson, the entire block walking crew up at the Unitarian Universalist Church, who block walked for weeks and weeks and weeks methodically through every precinct in McLennan County. We did move the needle in McLennan County, and I'm sure they played a big part of that. The Baylor Democrats, the Texas Democratic Women. Out in Limestone County, Dennis and Lorna Duke and Marcus Washington, who are rebuilding the party infrastructure from the ground up there. Charlene Prince in Falls County, Opal Oliver in Freestone, Elaine Hurdle also in Freestone, and Barbie Butler Johnson out in Robertson County. All these folks are county chairs or precinct chairs, are just very active in the party, and they have played a big role in supporting me in the last 14 months. Right here closer to home in Travis County. Terry Lemon, Tammy Smith, the Pflugerville area Dems, Sandra Ragona and the Northeast Travis County Dems, the K Crew, many of who are in this room at this time, and again, apologies if I missed somebody. Lisa and Rashad Maharaj, Bob and Darlene Ba, Bobby Moen, Karen and Howard Hagman, Vicky Linsalata, Ruth Siegel, Krista Kaoshin, Sean O'Neill, Woody Rain, who just left, Julie Huff. Julie, I hope your leg is healing properly and you'll be back on your bike soon. Russell Williamson, Deepak Talwar, who also just left, Shelley Palmer, Michael McPhail, Ryan Coogan, Katie and Kelsey Jones. Katie's one of my original block walkers. Kelsey Jones, my graphic designer, she's down at UT. She's done a fantastic job. Peggy Whitty, R.D. Childers, Rachel Finney, and anybody else I've missed, thank you so much for the help that you've given me over the last 14 months. Everybody in the room again, everybody out there who voted for me, I've loved being your candidate for United States Congress over the last 14 months. Yeah, there have been some days when it's been tough, of course, but for the most part, I've really enjoyed going back and forth, crisscrossing across the district. We knocked on doors in places like Buffalo, in Fairfield, in Teague, in Mahia, places that we never would have gotten to otherwise, met literally thousands of people along the way. And I know it's really corny, but I actually fell in love with the people of this district throughout this experience. No matter where I was, even if it was in the deepest red county in the district, the welcome was always warm, the conversations were always polite and cordial, even with the people who I knew would never, ever vote for Rick Kennedy. All those conversations ended with a handshake, a pat on the back, good luck, thanks for stopping by. So, like I said, as much as I've loved this, it does get hard sometimes. There are days where I felt like I was throwing rocks at a hurricane. It was very difficult. I'd like to thank my fellow candidates. We've sort of formed this mutual support group. Josh Wilkinson, Meg Walsh, Marianne Arnold, Selena Vasquez, Irma Cawley, Catherine Turner Pearson, Patricia Chisholm Miller, Rick Allen, all you guys, you're the go-to group when things get really tough. We huddle up in an IHOP out in Bryan and commiserate and cheer each other up and encourage each other to carry on. I want to thank what I consider to be the core team, okay? Mitchell Hobbs, who was chief sign assembler and chief packet stuffer. He must have Larry Williamson, hustle master. If you don't hustle, hustle is the texting tool. The texting team sent 160,000 plus text messages in the last 3 months or so. Don't tell me that didn't help move the needle. It surely did. Craig Mendel, who became our field organizer, organizing block walks, knocking on hundreds of doors here. John DeVries up in McLennan County, who was playing a similar role up there, arranging house parties, doing perpetual block walking up there. Carolyn Holtzman, who's behind the camera right now, who became my de facto communications director, and Debbie Bryant and Craig, thank you for letting me. Who became my campaign manager, and for the last 3 months I've done nothing but what Debbie has told me to do. And believe me, I needed that because 3 or 4 months ago I really was flying solo, right? And this has really gelled in the last 3 to 4 months or so, and it's really gained a lot of momentum. We'll probably finish 11 or 12 points down, like I said. We pulled the district back in early September, and we were 15 or 16 points down. And all of you folks who've contributed, you guys have helped move that needle, probably more than I have. So again, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. There's a couple of other folks that I really need to thank, the folks closest to me. I need to thank my ex-wife, Kirsten, who has graciously rolled with every change of schedule. I mean, literally at the last second sometimes. No, I'm not going to College Station tonight. The kids can come over. Or no, the kids can't come over. I'm going to College Station tonight. She's rolled with it every step along the way. My sisters and my in-laws and my nieces who have come, and my nephews-in-law who have come down to support me this weekend. Again, thank you so much. My kids who have put up with all kinds of grief while I've abandoned them for the last 14 months. Thank you guys. I love you so much. And Sarah, thank you so much. I love you so much. And you've been there when I was just even thinking about it. You've been my primary supporter and my most gentle critic at exactly the right time and exactly the right amounts. Thank you so much. I've, a lot of people say, thanks for running. Thanks for putting yourself out there. It's hard. And it is. But I knew that no matter what happened tonight, that on the morning of November 7th, these folks closest to me and everybody in this room would still have my back, and that made it easy to put myself out there. So, how many times can I say it? Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done. The other question you get asked all the time is, if you lose, what are you going to do? And my answer has always been the same. If we lose on November 6th, we're going to take November 7th off. And on November 8th, we're going to start thinking about how we carry this forward, because we're not going to stop fighting for an economy that works for everybody. We're not going to stop fighting for affordable quality health care for everybody. We're not going to stop fighting for access to a quality education for everybody. We're not going to stop fighting to reduce gun violence. We're not going to stop trying to reduce the impact of climate change. We're not going to stop fighting on any of these issues. Now, take me seriously, but don't take me literally, because I don't think we're going to get together on November 8th and decide how we're going to move forward. But on November 11th, we are going to gather at this table, and everybody in this room is invited. We're going to gather at this table on November 11th, and we're going to debrief on this campaign, and we're going to figure out what we did well, what we didn't do well, and how we're going to start taking those initial steps forward of how we're going to carry this forward. I don't know it's going to be as a candidate. I don't know if it's going to be as an activist. I don't know if it's going to be support of another candidate. We don't know what shape it's going to take. All I'm going to say is there are no years on your buttons or your t-shirts or your yard signs, so don't throw them away. Gang, we've done good. We did an excellent job. We moved the needle. We all knew what we were up against when we started this thing. Gerrymandered district, well-funded, entrenched incumbent. We knew that the path to victory was narrow, and it was rocky, and it was steep, and it was winding, and we made it part of the way up. We just didn't make it all the way up. So nobody needs to hang their head in shame. We did a great job. Everybody should be proud of what we did. I couldn't be more proud of what we've done. So thank you very much, everybody. Let's enjoy the rest of the night. Let's watch the rest of the returns. Let's hope we take the House. And then in a couple of days, we'll get together and start to figure out how to carry it forward. Thank you very much. Thank you.